Okay, guys, Thursday's ELT is all about inequalities like we did yesterday, but now you're being actually asked to graph the solution. So I'm just going to rewrite the inequality underneath. And as I'm rewriting, I notice I have some like terms. I know that negative 5n plus 2n is negative 3n is greater than 3. Okay, and to isolate my variable, I have to divide by negative 3 on both sides. I'm dividing by a negative on both sides. I have to flip my symbol. So I get n is less than 3 divided by negative 3 is negative 1. So we can read it like this. Negative 1 is greater than n, or n is less than negative 1. This is the same as n is less than negative 1. So when I graph it, I'm going to make an open dot above negative 1. I'm not going to shade it in because n has to be less than negative 1. I would only shade it in if n could be negative 1, but it can't. So I'm going to shade in the direction where everything that's less than negative 1 is. Well, I know that if I go this way, that's less. So n can be anything that is less than negative 1. So this is what your graph would look like. Okay, now let's look at number 2. So for number 2, I have like terms to combine. 6x plus 6x is 12x plus 2 is less than 14. To isolate my variable, I would subtract 2 from both sides. And I get 12x is less than 12. I'm going to divide by 12 on both sides. X is less than 1. So now I make an open circle on 1 because x is less than 1. And I shade all the numbers that are less than 1, which are just to the left of 1 on your number line. Okay, now let's do this one. Negative p minus 4p is negative 5p is greater than, looks like a negative 10. Sorry if I got that wrong. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. P, now I have to flip my inequality symbol because I'm dividing on both sides by a negative. P is less than, negative divided by a negative is a positive. So P is less than 2. So I circle the 2 like this, and I shade in the direction that's less than. Okay, number 4 is a little bit different. Number 4, 18 is greater than or equal to, I'm going to combine these and write 9k. To isolate my variable, I divide by 9 on both sides. And then I get k is less than or equal to 2, or 2 is greater than or equal to k. So I'm going to do a shaded in circle on 2, because k can be 2. K is also equal to anything less than 2, so I'm going to shade this way. If this is confusing to do it this way, you can also rewrite it. K is less than or equal to 2. This and this are the same. Okay, guys, let's just do one more together. Let's look at this one right here. So I have to use the distributive property. 6 minus 24n minus 28 is greater than or equal to 122. 6 minus 28 would be negative 22 minus 24n is greater than or equal to 122. Okay, I'm going to add 22 on both sides. And I get negative 24n is greater than or equal to 144. And then I'm going to divide on both sides by negative 24. So if I'm dividing by a negative, remember I have to flip my symbol. So it's going to be n is less than or equal to, and then it's going to be, since this is positive and this is negative, it's going to be a negative number. Negative and 24 times 6 12, 13, 14. Okay, 144 is -6. So n is less than or equal to -6. So I'm going to go to -6. I'm going to shade it in. And then I'm going to go this way. Because n can be less than -6 or it can be -6. And these are tough, guys, so just go slow, try your best, and we'll get more practice with this tomorrow. Thank you.